You know, I'm not one to go out of my way to throw shade, but I think it's time to admit I never understood the love for Lagiacrus or Lagiacrus, whatever you want to call him. He was so overhyped as a monster to me that I just stayed in my corner and shut up. Like, okay, the community seems to love him. So when he was announced to come back to Wilds, I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. But after fighting him in Wilds, I have to say, I love him now. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, classy crew, to a Lagiacrus journal of some kind as I journal my way through Monster Hunter Wilds and all of its title updates and eventual hopeful master rank mode where we just play to have fun. So the Lagiacrus, let's talk about this big boy, because this guy was so popular when I came into the Monster Hunter franchise. Everyone's like, oh, like everybody was educating me on he was supposed to be in World, but they couldn't make his like skeleton work, you know, so much so that when I back to 3U, everybody was like, oh, you finally get to see the water boy and all that. And I kept hearing so many updates about this guy and just seeing so much that when I finally did fight him in 3U, I was like, I don't get it. Water is kind of overrated. It's not really fun to fight underwater, especially with the switch axe. He's just another lightning monster that doesn't really stand out in any ways. And then you've got the Ivory Laggy and you've got the Abyssal Laggy, which again, they didn't leave. Okay, Abyssal was kind of cool, I'll admit to that. But the rest were kind of just, it's another monster. There was nothing really for me to like, you know, be excited for. But the way they handled him in this game, like from his introduction, let's compare his introduction to Title Update 1 Mizutsune. Just way more tension being built in presenting him. Having him come out fighting Rathalos instead of Mizutsune, which just pokes its head out. It's like, oh, you're gonna hunt me? Let's go. You know, you get the original Rathalos and Lagiacrus fight reenacted, which is from the 3U opening sequence. So really cool for those who grew up on 3U. For me, it wasn't as nostalgic. It didn't have as much impact to me, but it was still cool. And then kick in the music from 3U. I think it's the Deserted Island theme, hitting with more nostalgia there. And again, I just played this game like 2 years ago, so I can't imagine what this was like if this defined your gaming like childhood or teenhood or whenever you got into 3U. It must have just been like goosebumps everywhere. When he came out and attacked Rathalos and you saw like his first appearance in HD, and keep in mind, I did not watch the Capcom showcase. They provided all the details on Lagiacrus, so I went in pretty blind to this, and my first reaction was, oh, he's so beautiful. Like, my favorite color is blue, and that hasn't really translated to Monster Hunter in any meaningful way. Like, the blue monsters in these games have not had an impact on me. I mean, they've had negative impacts. You have the Velocidrome from Monster Hunter 1, which, and then you have Laggy from 3U, which again didn't stand out in a way. But here in this environment with a more realistic shade of blue to him, I never, even though like he's obviously like crocodile inspired, I've never really associated him to a crocodile. But here he feels very crocodilish. Presentation, music, vibes, everything just perfect on. Now let's talk about the fight. I think I've been face tanking a lot of monsters in Wilds. Some will say it's because the game is too easy. We're not here to talk about that. There's another video where I explore that from like 4 months ago. But yeah, you cannot face tank Lagiacrus with the switch axe. I ended up carding twice. I'm like, okay, a new strategy is required here. And so now I needed to kind of step back, and when I see he's shocking, I'm like, okay, let's not go in there. Let's go in when he's not shocking or taking his breath, or after he's done a wiggle, then we can slap him. And once I was actually being a little bit more careful in my attacks, now things were coming together better and the fight was really shining through. I have not really dabbled in endgame long enough. I don't grind. I just don't grind. It's not what I do. I don't enjoy it. And so I don't really have a proper meta endgame gear. I have whatever gear I ended up with in my last streams. Editor can hopefully put up, I did at one point show what my outfit is under my layered armor, like what my defense, what my stats is. My skills are pretty much non-existent. I have evade extension and that's it. Like, I have not optimized this build. And that's intentional to some point because I'm still having fun with the game. And I have fun, like, it's not like I'm grinding 30 hunts of these monsters. So to me, I'm less incentivized to be like, oh my God, this hunt is another 20-minute long. I got to bring it down. It's kind of, I face the monster, I get my challenge. I'm like, oh, that was fun. Let's go do something else. And then eventually I have to grind to stand a chance against some of these monsters. What else did I need to say about the fight? Oh, I love how it looks, his spikes on his back. It's never looked so good. Like, the fact that you can see when it's glowing and lighting up that he's like fully charged and now he's like a real menace. It also says like, please hit me. Like, I'm just so drawn to fight him and smack my axe right on his back to break those. Really, like, It just feels good. I had a great time fighting him. And then there's the underwater section, which I knew an underwater section existed, but again, I didn't see the showcase, so I didn't know what was involved. And I go in and like right away, I'm like, oh, Mashman, I gotta like fight him. And I was like, wait, I can't swing my weapon. People are like, no, you don't really get to attack him underwater, at least not the way you think you do. And then I learned that you're basically dodging. You basically can do 3 things underwater. You can dodge him, you can pull, you can slingshot to him, and then you can like stab him in the back and stuff, or the head. And then if you're good, you can like kind of find these wall or rock formations and pull that down on him. As a first fight, I love that. Like, I don't like underwater, but this was great because you got to see Laggy in his natural environment. You got to see him move around underwater so effortlessly. And, you know, the hunter really felt at a disadvantage, and it was just the right amount of control where I'm like, this is good. I wasn't expecting them to add an entire underwater mechanic just for one monster. This, I feel, is the perfect balance of let's give him that underwater segment, but let's not spend a whole year developing a whole aspect to this game that's only going to be used for one hunt. That'd be kind of silly. So this was a great way. And I think the more damage you do underwater, there's a different outcome, because I opened his mouth and I like shoved my hand inside his mouth and like blasted him with something, and it sent him like into a wall of spikes, which I'm like, is this how we're gonna kill him? And then I remember, oh wait, it's a capture quest. And people are like, wow, like I wasn't expecting you to get the best outcome. So I guess there's different ways. There's different cutscenes depending on how well you do in the underwater segment. So that's the one I got to see, and it was impressive. Like, that was really cool. So yeah, this was like just intense, because if I got hit, I was 1 or 2 hits from dying. It felt really intense. He does this like curling attack where like he spins in on himself and slaps you with the tail. I remember always getting hit by that in 3U or GU. Here, he really didn't. I don't think he hit me once with that tail slap. What was really getting me was, I think I just wasn't used to his moveset at first, which is why I was carding, and I was trying to be too aggressive. And then I learned basically like his AoE, you got to get away from that. So everything about this fight, like I love this monster. There's no other monster that I can think of right now in Wilds where I'm like, I love this monster. Like in Iceborne, Volcana left this great impression on me where I said, I love this monster. And right now, Laggy is having that impression on me where I love this monster. And all the other title update monsters, you know, Mizutsune, beautiful creature. I can't say I love it. The Steve, Regios, again, don't love it. Don't really care for it. And actually, that's a great segue. Let's talk about the second monster, which I had only again seen. I caught the end of the showcase, which only showed me that the 2 monsters that were being added in the game, Lagiacrus and Regios. So that's all I knew. I knew he was in there, and I decided to do him before Laggy. It's just for the sake of this video, Laggy was more interesting to talk about. The Steve fight, I'm going to call him Steve because it's easier than saying Regios. I don't know what is with Capcom and kids, or specifically with Monster Hunter Wilds and kids, why they're putting them at the forefront. And I might sound like, you know, a grade a-hole or a dick here. Like I have a kid of my own, but there's something about Wilds that just really aggravates me about how they depict kids in this game. I feel like it's not the game where you want to show kids. And I say that with a big asterisk because Monster Hunter Stories has kids and they are fine there. But here in Wilds, I've already ranted about Nada in another video, and I know some of you love him and some of you hate him just like I do. It's not about, you know, this is the absolute right, this is the absolute wrong. This is just the Hey Jay opinion that I don't like the kids in Monster Hunter Wilds. There. And so introducing Steve with 2 kids being like, we're being brave, we're doing this thing we're not supposed to do. And then like, you know, getting their secret in trouble. And then Steve comes in and it's like, as a hunter, you have to save them. And I saw a comment on Twitter where someone's like, I don't like being forced. I don't like when devs force me to play the game how they want. What if I don't want to save the kids? I was like, that is terrible. But also a feeling I share of like, teach them a lesson, you know, just the scratch. Just maybe they'll learn to like listen to the elders and not go out in a field where there are massive monsters that exist in this world. Like, just like make it make sense, please. Like if you grew up in a world with massive monsters outside your village, would you go off with your friend and being like, let's go be superheroes? So Steve got a terrible introduction. That is my point. Some background on my opinion on Steve, my experience with Steve. He was introduced in 4U. I got to see him in Sunbreak. I forget if it was Sunbreak or Rise, but that's where he was introduced to me. And he hit me like a truck. That thing was fast and I got kicked like hard and a lot. And then in 4U it was hard because, well, I mean, the old world is hard. So in this game, in Wilds, I was totally expecting it to be a little bit closer to Sunbreak. My first impression was, why is he so slow? And I remember his like downward kick to be so freaking intimidating in Sunbreak. And here, it wasn't. Like, he tries to kick you, he gets stuck in the sand, which is a really cool like animation. It makes him kind of more dorky, but it also makes a lot of sense. Like, if he is hitting you with all that force, it makes sense he gets stuck in the sand. So I like the detail, but it also makes him a little less threatening, a little bit more goofy. And the actual attack that kept getting me, which was annoying, was his kick where he like swipes like almost like a roundhouse, but like with the back. And when he's enraged, he does it twice. I kept getting hit with that all the time. I love how like on his legs you could actually see like the spikes and the scales moving, and you can like when you hit them it would shake. Like, I love that detail. But otherwise, Steve was very non-memorable compared to my first impression of him in Sunbreak. I felt he had way more impact there. And I don't know if it's just because I fought his base form and maybe they saved a lot of the like nastiness for his Art Tempered form. But I was definitely expecting more from his massive kick. Which it just honestly it just does not feel threatening in this game. It feels so easy to predict when he's gonna whip it out that you can just easily dodge it. It's just like, okay, go kick some sand and then I'm gonna hurt you. Outside of that, yeah, it was pretty much the side swipe that kept hitting me a lot, and then the bleed mechanic, which I had to remember how to deal with. But otherwise, happy to have him in the game. I just wish they made him a little more threatening with the big kick, and that they didn't have kids. If they would have made the big kick hit the kid, I would have laughed. I would have enjoyed myself. And then since I had not been playing Monster Hunter Wilds because I was playing Monster Hunter GU since Title Update 1, I didn't really get to play some of the updates, including the Akuma DLC. So I went in with some Street Fighter, did the Street Fighter content, searched the carcasses to find Akuma. And this was like me trying to remember, how do I play this game? Not how do I play this game, but how do I find my way around the map? I was so freaking lost. And then that unlocks the Go Punch a Monkey quest, which I am always down to punch a monkey. And I really love what they did here because I don't really care about Street Fighter. I used to love it as a kid. I used to play Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo on the Sega Genesis all the time. So Akuma, I never really got to know him. I think he was a secret character in Street Fighter 2 or 3, and he became more of a deal now. Like, I see him everywhere. They just keep putting him in games. I'm like, why is he such a big deal? He's basically evil Ryu, or Ryu, whatever they call him. And in Sunbreak, in Rise, he was one of the first DLC there too, and it was just a stupid layered equipment that didn't really do anything fancy, and you had to fight like a big Rajang to get it. So in this game, I was pleasantly surprised to see that you have an entire like fighting combo system baked into his armor, into this layered armor, that you can just punch a monkey. And so I had a lot of fun. And it was a lot smoother than I expected it to be because I'm not good at fighting games either. But I was able to like get some good punches and kicks in there that just felt like it flowed. And then when the wound would open up, you can like go in and get like I don't know what it's called. It looks like a cool finisher that really lets you punch a monkey hard. And then I went back with a veteran of the series. You probably see him on this channel a lot. Shout out to Wizard Chicken. He tried to show me the combo to, I think, do a Shoryuken. The one where you kick, or maybe it's the one where you punch, or it's the one where you're in the air and you kick down. I forget what it is. And I could not do it. He was like giving me the instructions, like, you do this. And he was showing me in the game. And I'm like, I'm doing that. And I am not doing what you're showing me. So we tried for 2-3 minutes and I just couldn't get it to work. So we just gave up and decided to go in and punch the monkey together. It was a good time. When friendship is made when you can both punch a monkey together. That should be something. I don't think it should be a t-shirt, but it should be something. It should be a saying. Have you punched a monkey with your friend? If not, they're not your real friend. And then since we were in the spirit of Street Fighter, I figured, I don't usually do this, but I'm like, that Cammy outfit for Alma is, I don't say peak usually, but it is peak. It is awesome. And I'm like, we're going to indulge. We got the Akuma outfit. We need to bring some more Street Fighter into our Monster Hunter Wilds. So here you go, Capcom. Job freaking well done on this Cammy outfit. So Alma's now wearing the Cammy outfit DLC. And I, again, have not really kept up with Street Fighter, so I didn't realize that this is the new Cammy outfit that much. If it was the original Cammy outfit, I don't think I would have bought it. I don't like it, and definitely wouldn't have looked good on Alma. But here, this outfit, I like it. We won't talk more about it because some of you call it the outfit for certain types of people. Also, I got to catch the Dose song, Monster Hunter Dose song that was being played. I had missed it. It was never playing when I did the festival last time. It was always playing another song. So this time I'm like, oh, I don't recognize this song. And I finally got to see the songstress playing, and yeah, she was just singing. It was a beautiful song. Unfortunately, I don't have any reference for Dose. So another thing, and I do not want to get too far into this, I just want to put a little note. I know that there's a ton of performance issues being talked about Monster Hunter Wilds in general, and I had to upgrade my video card to get Monster Hunter Wilds like at launch. One of my biggest complaints about Monster Hunter Wilds has been the fact that it is so frustrating to play from a performance issue. And I've had troubles before where the game is just sluggish. I always have to wait 20 minutes to compile shaders every time that there's an update or that my drivers get updated. All this to say, when I updated to the title update, it just flat out crashed the PC entirely. I've never seen it. Like, no crash report, nothing. It just, my entire PC just shut down and reset because the game crashed so hard. I reduced my settings. I stream at 30 frames per second. That helped with performance, but it's just so annoying. Out of all the Monster Hunter games I've played, this is the first time I have so much pain getting the game to work smoothly, and I'm actually regretting not buying a PlayStation 5 just for this game. Because honestly, like, when you look at the price of graphics card, it would have been almost the same price to just get a console just to play one game, but at least it would have played smooth. But then I would have been stuck with a box in my house that looks way too big. I don't like the PlayStation 5 and how big it is. Maybe we talk about that in another video, because I think Capcom really messed up here. It could have been worse, but as a player, it's frustrating. And it sours my experience every time I have to go back into the game. I'm like, oh, I gotta do the and I know that we had to do it for Rise and Sunbreak, but on my PC it took like 2 minutes to do, and I also played Rise first on the Switch, so I didn't even get to taste that at all. But here it's literally 20 minutes. I've timed it. It takes 20 minutes every time to compile shaders. It's just a pain in the butt. So yeah, so now I'm a laggy lover. So if you're a laggy lover, shout out in the comments below. Let's see who you are, and let's show this boy some love again. I hope to see you on stream or on the next journal, and until next time, keep it classy.